Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining today, and my great pleasure to have this opportunity. And my name is Yuta Itatsu from KOKOPELLI, and KOKOPELLI is a company which develops the B2B SaaS services connecting EMEs, buyers and sellers in Japan, from Japan to all over the world. And today I will share our journey. The title is A Case on Building a Multilingual Business Matching System with OpenSearchService. And today I will explain how we migrated from legacy SQL system to a modern search engine-driven architecture to solve some very complex matching problem. And at first, let's understand why this is difficult. Business matching is fundamentally different from typical web search. We faced our specific hurdles. The first is big needs. Users rarely search for specific product names. They search for concepts like DX or cost reduction or such a very vague words. And so simple keyword matching often fails to capture this hidden intent. And the second is the noisy data. Companies are very complex. If a single company does both real estate or IT consulting, and we mix that into one text block, it creates very noisy data. The search engine gets confused about what the company actually does. So this is the second point. We feel this is very difficult to solve this problem. And the third, we realized that the vectors alone are not enough. We might ask, why not just use vector to search for everything? Well, semantic similarity doesn't always mean a business match. A buyer and seller might use similar words, but they're on the opposite side of the deal. So the vector alone struggles to distinguish this relationship. And finally, language barriers. We need to match Japanese users with ASEAN and other countries all over the world users without losing the nuances of their business requirements. Yes, this is our challenge. And before using OpenSearch, our legacy system relied on standard SQL-like search. As our data grew, we hit a wall. And the biggest issue was the performance. SQL partial matching kills database indices, and our search latency jumped from seconds to 10 seconds. So this is the first feature. Then there was a synonym nightmare. We manage synonyms in application code. If we want to map the car to vehicle, for example, we had to deploy new code. It was not maintainable, but most critical failure was the lack of the ranking, And SQL is binary. It's either a match or no match. It cannot sort by relevance. Users had no idea which partner was the best fit among the results. Here, okay. Thank you. So we set clear goals: better accuracy, higher recall, system flexibility, and global search capabilities. But before I explain the solution, I want to share our architecture philosophy. We know that retrieve and rerank using AI models is a current industry trend. However, we made a conscious decision not to jump straight into AI ranking. This is because if the retrieval quality is poor, AI cannot fix it. So our primary strategy for this phase was to build a rock-solid retrieval foundation first. And here I showed the whole processes of our system. As shown in the left on the slide, initial user's query is at first collected by type collection system, and next expand the query by synonym expansion feature, and then combining these results into the translation, English translation features, and then we run the hybrid vector search, combining all of these features. So, okay, let's dive into the implementation. And starting with the index setting. Handling Japanese text requires a robust pipeline. So we set up standard, but effective flow. At first, we use Kuramoji for morphological analysis to break down sentences. Then we apply lemmatization to convert words like buying to buy. And finally, we perform noise removal and normalization. This pipeline ensures that the text stored in our index is clean and consistent, which is baseline for everything that follows. And next, let me introduce the unique part of our architecture, the lexicon index. Instead of using a simple synonym file, we created a dedicated OpenSearch indices to, one index to manage keywords. This gives us two massive advantages. First is scalability. And unlike static text files, we can manage millions of keywords and update them in the real time without restarting the cluster. And second is domain knowledge. This is not just a dictionary. We store business logic here. For example, we map M&A to some succession planning based on our past deal history. And this index essentially acts as our manual reranker, gathering high-quality data that we can eventually use to train future AI models. And now, how we handle the language barrier. We didn't want to clutter our application with translation code, so we utilized OpenSearch ML connector. This allows us to call API like AWS Translate or DeepL directly from within OpenSearch. We feel this feature is very powerful, one of the very powerful feature of OpenSearch pipelines, because almost every function can be called and can be invoked by this feature. So yes. And then we store this translated text in dedicated English field using multi-fields. And this is crucial because it lets us apply a proper English analyzer to the translated text. And we also found that multilingual vectors can be a bit vague, capturing the vibe, but missing specifics. So we combine them with BM25 keyword matching on the translated text to ensure precision. Yes, and for the actual query strategy, we use a multi-match approach. We split the user's query into an original language part and a translated part. And here, weighting is key. We give a higher boost to the original language. If keywords matches exactly in Japanese, that's a strong signal. So we prioritize it. We also use the most fields scoring mode. This means if a document matches in both the Japanese title and the English content, the scores are added up. And this naturally pushes the most relevant cross-lingually matched companies to the top of the list. And now let's look at how we solve the noise problem using vector search. As I mentioned, companies have multiple business lines. If we vectorize the whole company profile into one vector, the unique features get diluted. It becomes an average vector that matches nothing. So our solution was chunking. This is very basic method. So we split the company data into small chunks like individual business unit or products. We structured this using a nested data type. Think of company as the parent document and this business unit as child document. We vectorize each child chunk independently using Cohere, which supports multilingual embedding. And when searching, we match the query against the specific child chunk, but we return the parent company as the result. This ensures high purity in matching while delivering the correct company profile to the user. So how do we bring keyword translations and vectors together? We use a hybrid search strategy. On one side, we have a lexical search, a BM25, for exact match like technical terms or IDs. On the other hand, we have vector search to handle context and nuances. We combine these scores using a specific logic. Because a company has multiple chunks, we use score mode max. We take the signal highest scoring chunk to represent the company. We do not average the scores. Why? Because in business matching, one great opportunity matters more than the average of all business lines. Finally, we apply a poor post filter to strictly enforce business rules, like checking if a user is a valid seller to ensure the results are actionable. And okay, this is final slide today. To recap and wrapping up, here is how we solved our initial challenges. The problems of information dilution were solved by chunking. We matched specific business unit, not vague profiles. The semantic limits were solved by hybrid search combined with our domain lexicon. We don't rely blindly on vectors. The language barrier was solved by the ML connector. And we use a dual approach of rigorous translation search plus semantic vectors. And operational rigidity was solved by index-based management, allowing us to update rules instantly. Sure, this is all for today. Thank you for hearing today.